Welcome back, guys, to another episode of my Manchester United career on FIFA 15. Now, in the previous episode, just to refresh your memories, Manchester United beat City in the quarterfinals of the Capital One Cup. 2-1 was the final score. United booking their place in the semi-finals to play Arsenal. It has been drawn. We will have to play them both home and away. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one, that, but I think we might be able to come out on top. So maybe we're looking at a United Swansea final, United Southampton, or maybe Arsenal will strike lucky. We'll just have to see how it all pans out at the end of the day. Now, normally December is the busiest time of the season. Well, not in this career mode save. It's actually January. Look at the fixtures we've got to go through. Everton, Stoke, the first leg against Arsenal. Then we've got to play Norwich in the Premier League. Then we play Arsenal again in the Premier League. Then we play Arsenal again in the second leg of the Capital One Cup. It's absolutely madness, and we finish up the month of January with that game against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. As you just saw as well, I have finally changed the number of Angel Di Maria. He is now number 22. You guys have been requesting that for the last couple of episodes, and because these episodes at the moment have been pre-recorded, I just haven't got round to it until now. So you guys that have been requesting it, you can rest easy. Di Maria has his former number, which he had at Real Madrid, back on his back. So, continuing on our Premier League campaign this season, our next fixture was at Old Trafford against West Bromwich Albion, against the Baggers. And wow, I never really expected such a fight back from West Brom. They did ever so well in this game. It was United that opened up the scoring on the day. It would be a header by Falcao. Tell me something new. Ronaldo did well to twist and turn and eventually whip the ball in, picking out the head of Falcao. It was good to get such an early goal in this game as well, because West Brom, even with 10 minutes gone of the game, they were looking very threatening and they were seriously growing in confidence, and that was something we couldn't be doing with, because they're such a threat going forwards. West Brom, they've got Mourinho, they've got Sessignon, they've got some great playmakers in there and players that can actually grab the crucial goals, and they did. It was Sessignon that got the equaliser. They didn't back down after Falcao had scored the opening goal. In the second half, just after the hour mark, it would be Falcao getting his second of the game. He pickpocketed the ball from Macaulay, and it was just a simple tap-in from there. So that was his second goal of the game, putting United into the lead. So again, just pegging West Brom back and showing them who's boss, and that they're playing at Old Trafford. They need to realise that, you know. We can't allow them coming to Old Trafford thinking that they can win this game. We had to make it difficult for them, and that's kind of what we did. And then this happens. Yeah, Phil Jones scored another own goal. This really can't be happening. I've scored 2 own goals already this season. He scored one last season, if I remember, where I was just trying to clear it, pressing down square, and he blasts it up into the top corner. Very disappointing, but there was still hope for United in captain Wayne Rooney. He was the one that got the winner right on the very last second of the game. The ref did eventually bring the game to a close, and West Brom, you know, they would be walking away from Old Trafford with their heads held high, because, you know, that was a fantastic performance. They really fought for a solid point at Old Trafford. They may have gone on to come away with all 3 points if I wasn't careful. I need to make sure in the future that I can actually finish a game around about the 60th minute and put it to bed. I also offered De Gea a 1-year extension on his contract, seeing that he requested that, so hopefully he accepts. Now, here is the group stage of the Champions League. We've only got one more game to play, and that will be against Celtic. Yes, you will see them highlights coming up very soon, but look at the group stage. Look how close it was before I kicked off against Celtic. You know, Milan, Sporting Lisbon level on points. A point against Celtic would have been good enough to see United advance through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. But a loss against Celtic at home would have really got me sweating whether United had made it through to the knockout stages. I think we would have just scraped it even if we did lose against Celtic and, let's say, Milan won. They would have gone top. United, I think, would have come in second because of our goal difference, and vice versa for Sporting Lisbon as well if they beat Milan and so on. But, you know, it's incredibly tight. It was certainly added to this game. The atmosphere, the tension was building. It was brilliant. It really had that Champions League feel to it. You know, I had some of my top players in the team like Ronaldo. Van Persie was starting up front instead of Falcao. Nani was playing as well because Di Maria was out due to lack of fitness. Nani had a few good moments of just bursting pace down the right side, bit of skill here and there, trying to work something out for United. Darren Fletcher had a good effort on goal, but Gordon remained resilient and stopped the ball from going into the back of the net, keeping the game at 0-0. Didn't really have a problem against Celtic in that first game, but they really brought their A game to Old Trafford. They wanted to go out with a bang, if you will, because they were going to go out of the Champions League anyway, because I think they only picked up a point in the group stages, so pretty bad on their part. But as I said, they wanted to go out with a bang and they wanted to make a statement in a way and beat Manchester United at Old Trafford, the Premier League champions, and they almost opened up the score in there. It was an absolute scramble in the box until De Gea managed to pick it up and just relieve us of that pressure. This game was begging for a goal, and Adnan Januzaj, who came on in the second half to replace Ronaldo, went for a finesse shot trying to curl it into the top right hand corner, but it went out into the Stretford end instead. The game came to an end and it ended 0-0, but Manchester United will still qualify for the knockout stages. And here are the final groups. Both Inter Milan and Arsenal have qualified. In Group B, Manchester City and Fenerbahce will be playing in the knockout stages too. From Group C, Benfica and Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich coming in second there, but level on points. In Group D, Chelsea and Juventus advance through. And in Group E, Wolfsburg and Atletico Madrid, PSG, are out of the Champions League this season, coming up short. Group F, Manchester United and Milan go through. You can see that Sporting Lisbon and Milan did draw, but Lisbon coming up short. In Group G, Barcelona and Bayer Leverkusen are through to the knockout stages. And finally, in Group H, Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund will be in the next round. And speaking of the next round, here is the draw for the knockout stages. Yes, Manchester United will have to play one of Europe's best, none other than FC Bayern Munich. We're going to have to play them both home and away. Wow, I'm kind of looking forward to that fixture. Kind of excited, but it's going to be difficult. And the other games which will happen in the knockout stages, City will play Juventus, Benfica will play Bayer Leverkusen, Chelsea will play Milan, and you've got Barcelona taking on Borussia Dortmund, and I think Arsenal have pulled the short straw there, having to play Real Madrid. So just under halfway gone of the season, 15 games have come and they've gone, and our next game would be against our neighbours, Manchester City at Old Trafford. As you saw with the league table, they were sitting top, not very comfortable though, yet they are unbeaten. They haven't lost a game yet this season, and they knew if they put in the same performance as they did in that fixture recently in the Capital One Cup in the quarterfinals against United, then they would lose their first game of the season, plus all 3 points, and they wouldn't be sitting at the top, as United would leapfrog them and go second, depending on the Chelsea score. If they lost, obviously United would go top. If they won, United would stay in second, but it's still very tight. Still kind of early days, I suppose, in the league, but City looking very strong, as I've already mentioned there. They're unbeaten so far this season, so they had that to take to Old Trafford. But looking at the league table, I mean, their record isn't really that good. I mean, they've won 8 games and drew 7. They've drew 7 games. That's, yes, they're picking up a point, but I mean, they really needed to make sure that they was winning those types of games as well. If they had, obviously they would be in such a fantastic position to really take the league by storm and possibly win it come the end of the season. But Manchester United stood in their way, and it would be Radamel Falcao. I had to say his full name. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Radamel Falcao. He made it 1-0 anyway, just under 10 minutes gone of the game in the Manchester derby. The cameraman getting all involved, but what a goal it was as well. It was almost the perfect setup from Manchester United. It was Rooney just outside the penalty area that whipped the ball in on a snowy day at Old Trafford. It was Ronaldo that headed it back down, keeping it at the perfect height for Falcao to hit on the half volley, and I think it took a slight deflection, so it helped the ball on its way into the back of the net. Jovetic made De Gea work as he tried to seek out that top right hand corner, but thankfully De Gea was there fully stretched to prevent it from going in, just deflecting it away, and it did eventually go out for a corner. Marquinhos just, there was no other option for him but to knock it out. Milner had another good opportunity for City to get back on level terms. Raphael came in at the very last second and managed to get his leg in the way before the ball went sailing into the back of the net, so it was just an easy pickup for De Gea. Now, City, they had a free kick in a dangerous spot just outside the area. It was Tom Cleverley that got himself in the referee's book after that challenge. It was an obstruction on Fernandinho, and it would be Yaya Toure coming very close to making it 1-1, rattling the crossbar. It's the underside as well. I was very fortunate that it didn't cross the line and that the goal line technology didn't have to come into play. Cleverley remained focused though for Manchester United, threading the ball through to Ronaldo, who was pinched by two City players, but the ball fell to Cleverley. He just slapped that through, and Ronaldo with ease. He was never going to miss from there. He wasn't even put under any pressure whatsoever, and he took his time to line up the shot, and he struck it with such venom and found the back of the net with the ball clipping just the inside of the post. Manchester United 2-0 up against the neighbours City. All United had to do was make sure that they could hold on for the last 20 minutes of the game with this 2-0 lead over City. Aguero, who came on to replace Jovetic, I think, had a good shot on target. De Gea saved, but then the referee came into the box and gave City a penalty. I wasn't too sure at the time what it was for, and Cleverley was the guy that conceded it again. He was all over the place for Manchester United, but yet created so many opportunities for us. He was having a good game in that sense, but on the other hand, not the best for, giving away free kicks and penalties. It was actually Negredo that went off to be replaced by Aguero, as you can see that Jovetic did eventually go off to be replaced by Andy Coulson. The fight was still there for Man City. That gave them a bit of a boost after Toure converted that penalty into a goal. It was 2-1. There were 10 minutes to go, and Manchester United had received a free kick in another dangerous position, and this was Cristiano Ronaldo territory. Pablo Zabaleta received a yellow card after this challenge. You can see that as he goes sliding, no intention for the ball whatsoever, and just slightly trips up Ronaldo, and so the ref had no other option but to give a free kick. Ronaldo striding back. You can see 4 in the wall for Man City, including the tall Yaya Toure. It was 23 yards out. Of course, the referee had to come in, and I think it was Toure that got booked for that because of the wall nudging forwards. I think in FIFA 16, EA need to include the referee spray so we can prevent that from happening. But 23 yards out, will Ronaldo make it 3-1? He doesn't. He just fires it straight at the keeper, but it was on target, and we were letting City know that we can still find the back of the net even at such a late stage in the game. With just seconds to go, it's an absolute scramble in the box. I just couldn't get the ball out of United's penalty area. Maybe I should have blasted it away there with Rojo, but for some reason I decided to pass it, and eventually the ball fell to Aguero, and he was never going to miss from there. He made it 2-2, and so both United and City come away with just a point. Anyway guys, that's the end of this episode. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.